Sportsline, brought to you by AKLC Studios, Arnold Furniture, Buffalo Bills Roadhouse, Fazio's Italian Deli, Highland Tire, Myrna's Brewery Outlet, Lower Burl Attorney Gino F. Peluso, the Resevich Funeral Homes, 380 Discount Warehouse, and Westmoreland Insurance Services. And welcome once again to Sportsline Trivia. Welcome, World Wide Web people. Bob Tattern here, along with Mike Pavlik. Mike, good to have you aboard.
It's nice to be here.
And boy, there's so much to talk about when you get into our home area of sports. Set aside high school for the moment, but Pitt's not having a great year.
No, not
okay.
at all.
The Steelers right now are not having a great year.
No, they're not.
There is no hockey.
No, there's not.
And the Pirates finished under 500 again.
Just checking to see if there's any place to put a rope up there.
No, there's no Harry Carey here, folks.
This isn't good at all. What are we going to do? We need something to be good. What is good? What is happening that's good, Bob?
Well,
high school sports is good. We have some good things going on with our high school football local team.
And we will talk about some of that a little bit later on. But I did hear today that maybe, just maybe, there is some movement with the owners and the National Hockey League players.
Oh, I hope you're right about that. I heard some stuff later on this afternoon that they're about to cancel a bigger block of games, maybe taking it all the way to December.
Well,
here's what seems to be happening, and we can talk about this later on, but it's almost as if that the players, every time that the players make a proposal, that it isn't in the same parameters as what the system is already. It's almost like they keep trying to reinvent a different system.
I see.
And I don't know that the owners are willing to negotiate on someone else's idea. And we heard it was just about the money. Well, if it's just about the money, sit down and talk about the money.
Exactly.
I mean, and hash it out financially. That should be the easy part.
It can't be about what hotel we go to on a layover between Boston and Philadelphia or something.
I'm so confused.
I know that one of the issues has to be the situation with the New York Islanders.
That's one of them.
Because they want to move the team.
Or they want to get a new building to keep them on Long Island. And you have other franchises like Phoenix where they can't get an owner. The league's been propping this team up for years. The Miami franchise is in trouble, and so many that they expanded too fast.
Right.
To get the fee that you get when you expand. They took that money, the short-term fix. Yeah. They expanded to places they really shouldn't go. They need to realize that they are basically almost a niche sport. Those of us who love it, but and we're going to be there when they come back.
No matter what you do, it is not a Southern sport.
It's not.
So, folks, there we are. Let's take a look at rules and regulations to win prizes, whether you're calling locally or out of town, out of state, in another country.
Out of the country.
Anyway, we enjoy that part of the program. You do not have to participate if you don't want to, but you can win a prize once in a calendar month. The Grand Salami Prize and the Mystery Profile can be won one or the other once a month. The trivia that we do for multiple choice, you have a 15-second time limit. The salami questions are 20 seconds. And the Mystery Profile, clue by clue. And then from there, we invite you to go to my website. Oh, that's right, forgot. First-time callers or anybody that's not phoned us in a year is considered first time. We'll get you more than one prize. Go to my website, doubledribblebob.com, which is where you are right now if you're watching streaming, and go to the trivia questions. You see the little link right in the front or home page. My radio show every Saturday morning, WAVL 910 on the AM dial. Love to do the program. It's all on sports history and sports nostalgia. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back. I understand Tony is going to kick off the program tonight, and he will probably try a salami question. The grand salami. We give you a tough question, no clues. You're on your own for 20 seconds, which doesn't give you time to look it up on a computer. And by the way, Tony's never done that because he doesn't have a computer, nor does he know how to run one, if he did have. Am I right so far? Anyway, let's take a break, and Mike and I will come back right after this timeout. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. Lower Borough Attorney Gino F. Peluso was honored to be the first AK Valley lawyer to serve as president of the Duquesne Law Alumni Association. For over 3 decades, Attorney Peluso has helped local people get what they deserve, providing his expertise in Wilson Estates, auto accidents, DUI, and bankruptcy law, where he serves as a debt relief agency helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Call Attorney Peluso 724-339-8710 or visit attorneypeluso.com. Let his experience work for you. Where you buy your vehicle is just as important as what you buy. You have the luxury of choice at Tower Auto Sales. Let their experienced sales staff help you. Tower Auto Sales. Call Mike Fanto, who says, just buy it. 412-828-6202. Good to have Tony aboard as we get onto the phones. And Tony, did you catch a college game last weekend? Let me start there.
Is this Arnold's Furniture? The dummy's on here. Did I catch a college game last week?
Right.
I think so. I caught a few.
No, I'm talking about your trips.
Oh, you mean my beloved Irish?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I caught it.
What'd you think?
I caught it. No offense. You know,
no offense.
Defense couldn't play any better.
Right, they couldn't, and they had the officials working on their side, so that didn't hurt.
It all evens out, they say, at the end of the year.
It all right. Sure. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we got about 10 years worth that they owe us. So.
Oh, really?
Poor Notre Dame, Bush, and we beat. Let me see.
I think
Florida State beat us. And then at the end of the year, we ended up tied. They said, well, we're going to give it to Florida State because they beat you. Fine. That's the way it should be. And then a couple years later, it was reversed. And they still gave it to Florida State. That's all right.
I remember.
Hey, how's Pitt doing?
I remember. Tell me about it. I remember a couple times. I'm changing the subject right now. This is what this called.
Okay. I thought that would get you.
Yeah, but no. I'm saying I remember a couple years ago when USC scored a touchdown that shouldn't have been at the end of a game. This is what I was bringing up to somebody the other night.
Yeah.
That was one, and there were a couple times when John Robinson was coaching USC that they kind of got some calls against Notre Dame. So they're putting themselves in a position to win these games. So good for them for that.
Right.
And second,
right.
I mean,
but
their schedule.
This week they play BYU. Could be a trap game, but the following week I guarantee that streak of not giving a touchdown will go by the boards.
Would they play Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
At Oklahoma.
That's going to be tough. I'll tell you what, they can win that game, though.
Well, yeah, they can win it, but they're going to have to score some points.
Well, they're going to have to, and hopefully they get goals. I mean, it's tough to tell what's going on with the quarterback situation there because it seems that Reese comes in at the end and kind of settles things down and pulls a game out for them.
Well, because he's not the starter. You know what I'm talking about?
He can't play the whole game. I really think that's what it is.
Right. He's that good relief pitcher you bring in.
That's what Kelly calls him, the closer, exactly.
Yeah, the closer. He's definitely the closer,
and
you know.
Well, it's worked out anyway.
If he was really a pitcher, well, he wouldn't be on the Pirates anyhow, so what's the difference?
No, there's no doubt about that. I was telling somebody the other day, it's like I think that it's good when Notre Dame is good, and that's
no matter whether you love them or hate them.
And there's another thing, and I said I want to see it if they win all of their games, that they'll be 1 or 2. Because
they should be.
Because they're Notre Dame.
If they win all their games.
And I want to hear the team that cries because they don't get a chance to play. It'll be somebody like some SEC team going to cry that they don't get a chance to play Alabama again.
Oh, well, you know.
Exactly. So
I got a lot of crying towels here.
I'm kind of rooting for them on that score.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But anyhow, in the meantime.
Yes.
Now, when I don't like Ike Taylor goes to his life's work.
Right.
Allstate should get him for their poster boy. You know, the good hands people.
The good hands people.
Yeah, because I haven't seen a receiver go out without his hands all over him.
Oh, my gosh.
This is pathetic.
It's pretty bad.
You know what? This is all the bad drafts that they had over the years is finally catching up with them in all aspects of their game.
It's looking like it. I mean, now here's what they've done. They have rebuilt their offense. And we were talking about this, that they have, as much as I could think, Ben, Max Starks, and Heath Miller, I think are probably the only 3 people that play on offense that are over 30. So they have completely retooled the offense. And they've gotten younger, and their picks that they have picked offensively have worked out. But when you look on the defense, and the people that they have picked to come in, their draft choices have not panned out. And you start naming the names: Hampton, Kiesel, Harrison, Foote, Taylor, Polamalu, Clark. All those guys are over 30. And that's really what's caught up to them right now.
And Monday should be playing on Sunday, let alone play on Thursday.
And normally I'd say he's a half-decent special teams guy, but he's like the guy that you've done it before when you've coached baseball or whatever, and you have a guy that you want to have in there for his bat, but it doesn't matter where you put him in the field, the ball's going to find him. And it seems like Monday's been that person. That it doesn't matter if he's trying to block a guy on a punt, if he's trying to cover a guy in the secondary or run down and tackle somebody, that the flag is finding the guy or the bad play's finding him. He's just been a disaster for them, and he's, from all accounts, a great kid, and I kind of feel bad for him. But, you're, at this level, you got to perform, and he's just not pulling it off.
You know what? There is no way in the world I could feel bad for anybody making $1 million.
I guess you got a point. That's not true.
I mean, if he was making $1.250, okay, I could feel bad for him, but not with the money they make. Oh my God! And McFadden was terrible, and I don't know. I just could go on.
They tried to bring him back, but they drafted. Here's the thing, and I don't know if this is because they just don't want to give these guys a chance, or is it because they've seen them in practice and they don't think that they can do it? Guys like Cortez Allen and Curtis Brown, these guys that were drafted. Now we've gotten to see Keenan Lewis here, and that's an iffy proposition at best. But is it going to be time? And I heard the stat the other day. Ike Taylor was targeted 13 times in the game Thursday night. 9 of them turned out to be positive plays for
positive plays. 9 of them.
It was 3 penalties and 6 completions, something along those lines, or 4 penalties and 5 completions. Can't you find somebody that can stop it 5 times out of 13?
Hey, try anybody. Just grab somebody, throw them in there. What's the difference? Give them a chance. I don't care.
It's nearing the point where you're going to have to change the way you call the defenses, and I think that LeBeau's been slow to do that.
Oh, my. It's time for LeBeau to go. I mean, he's been a great guy, been a great player. I've seen him play.
I remember when I was still a caller to this year's show, and I would call in the very early 90s and call Bob and Joe and say, isn't it about time that Chuck Noll goes, because I still want to like him. I don't want to get to the point. I don't want to get to the point where I have to call and criticize him and not like him anymore. And then after that year, he did go, and I'm starting to think that this is happening with LeBeau now. And it's like I still want to like him. He can still go gracefully after this year, and we'll say, okay, it just didn't work out.
And then Haley with that stinking running game. He puts us in a hole every time with that stinking running game. I mean. Well, you know what? My boy says they ran him out of Kansas City because he did the same thing there. Run, run, run. He don't care if it was 3rd and 25. He was running the ball sometimes.
Yeah, because he didn't have a quarterback. You got to remember, he was the offensive coordinator at Arizona. They threw when he had Kurt Warner.
Yeah, well, he has he has a quarterback. He has the wide receivers.
Well, I agree with you in this sense. I think that they need to do a little bit more throwing on first down.
Yeah.
And then I think it would be okay. The offense hasn't been the problem here. They're scoring enough points to win these games.
And this isn't going to solve anything, but I'll remind the both of you that the 2 of the 3 losses came on the last play of the game for the opposition. It's not an excuse or an alibi, but we gave it to them.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that is that if Denver beats San Diego tonight in the Monday night game, only 2 teams will be over 500 in the entire AFC. So you talk about a parity or a mess. I don't know. The AFC East is all 3-3. So, they still have a chance to recover here. It's not as if they put themselves behind the 8 ball and they don't have a chance to take care of this. I mean, the Bengals were terrible yesterday. I'm sure you probably caught a lot of that.
I watched it. I watched Cleveland. Yeah. But you know what? We got to go there to play them the first time, I think.
Right. We go there next Sunday night, and the problem is this. How are you going to stop them? I mean, how will the Steelers – I mean, they haven't played, I don't think, a quarterback as good as Dalton with receivers that good yet. And you see what's been done to them. How are they going to stop Cincinnati?
I don't know. I don't know how to stop anybody if they keep playing the way they're playing.
Exactly.
And they got no replacements. That's the problem. They keep guys on that practice squad, or whatever you want to call it, for years, and they never develop. You know what? They treat these draft choices like they're gold, like it's Fort Knox. After the 2nd or 3rd round, pack them in a package and move up somewhere and get what you need. That's all. Because they think they're going to hit lightning in a box like they did in the 70s, when they got L.C. Greenwood in the 11th round and Mike Wagner in the 9th round.
Right.
Yeah, it ain't there anymore, guys. Your luck ran out. You won 4 Super Bowls that way, and that's all well and good.
Like you said luck, and that's the word. When you go down that far in the draft, it is luck.
Tony,
it is.
There's no question.
Shall I assume that you're going to do a grand salami?
You know what happens when you assume.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Well, you've got questions 1 through 5, so if you...
Okay, well, let's try. I've been going through all of them. Let's try number 2 today.
Number 2, all right. You're not watching on
no, I don't have a computer. Remember, old Jimmy don't have a computer.
That's right.
Remember, and if I had one, I wouldn't know how to run it anyhow.
Here's question number 2. Who is the only quarterback to take a team to an NFL title and an AFL title? The only quarterback to do so, and you've got 20 seconds.
Both AFL and NFL.
Yep, titles.
Titles. Oh, jeez. I know who he is, and I can't remember his name. Well, son of a gun.
Time is up.
Well, okay, time is up. Go ahead.
Tobin Rote.
Tobin Rote?
Tobin Rote.
Oh, my God, are you going back?
Tony.
I think the first time I seen him play, I was rolling over in my playpen. Tobin Rote. Okay,
I never saw him play.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I remember. Who did it? I mean, who was him?
Give me his years.
I'm clicking him right now. We're going to find him.
We're gonna give you the years. It's not all that.
Well, he
far
played in
back.
the NFL with the Packers from 1950 to 1956, 57 through 59 in Detroit, and then a couple years in Toronto with the Argonauts in the CFL. Then he played in San Diego in 1963 and 64.
Which gave him the AFL?
Right, and then in 66 in Denver. I was still eating pablum.
Yep.
So
that's him.
That's Tobin Rote. There he goes.
Tobin Rote, and he had a brother, Kyle
Rote, who I remember being an announcer. I remember Kyle Rote being announcing games on ABC on college football.
All right, Tony.
Okay, guys, you have a great day. Hey, Mike, who does Highland play?
They will be at Ringgold. I get to go to Joe Montana Stadium again.
Oh, geez, are you lucky?
They have a big picture of Joe Montana there, and
good.
They treat you like
Take a picture for him.
I take a picture for you. Yeah, it's really nice. Everything has Joe Montana's name on it, except somebody said that what they needed him to do was to donate a few bucks to upgrade the facilities. I said, no, no, no. When they
Yeah.
dedicated the field, actually Joe wanted them to pay him to come so they could do that. So
Oh,
because his
okay.
job now is to be Joe Montana, so you
right.
might as well get paid for it. So that's understandable.
All right, guys. You have a great day.
Have a
We'll
great
see you
week.
next week. Bye-bye.
All right, commercial break.
You touched the nerve with the Notre Dame thing there. You get the Joe Montana thing.
All right, commercial break, folks. We're coming back. Our number, in case we didn't give it.
We may not have.
Yeah, 724-236-0430. All right, we'll be back in a moment. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a fourth generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from two locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell. Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
When you visit Tower Auto Sales, you have the best products, the best selection, best customer communication, and best of all, the best service after the sale. Tower Auto Sales. Get in touch with Mike Fanto. He says just buy it. 412-828-6202. And a reminder to everybody that's tuned in, you can go to my website and get the answers to the trivia questions. It's doubledribbleBob.com, okay? Limo Man is up next, and we're going to say hello to Limo Man. Welcome to the program.
Little rainy out there. Where's George Guido been?
George is busy on Mondays, so he'll be here. He'll find a way to sneak in.
Okay, I'm just asking because although I love you, Milo, you're great.
Thanks, Bruce.
But he's tired of you already.
Yeah, exactly. He's already. I get that.
When you were talking to Tony, I could not hear Tony.
Yeah, that's true too. So what do you got for us today, Limo?
Marty Brennan is really upset because the Reds were eliminated. I know that because I talked to him.
I'll tell you what, I listened to the last inning, the last half inning on their broadcast, and he was really, really down. I mean, but you know, you win the first two games, talking about the Reds, you win the first two games on the road of a best of 5, you figure that you're going to be able to come home and win 1 out of 3.
Wrap it up.
And they weren't able to do it, but the Giants are funny like that. The Giants haven't won a game at home yet in the playoffs, and they better win tonight is all I know, because the Cardinals have this thing going where the Cardinals have come to the conclusion are the Yankees of the National League. The people hate the Cardinals about as much as they hate the Yankees, and they're starting to get tired of their act.
Oh, you're not going to believe this, Bob, but in the Sports Illustrated, I think I told you last week about Ed Hockley.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I called him at his home in Phoenix. Seville gave me his phone number, and I gave him the double-dribble.
Well, thank you.
And he repeated it back to me.
And I have a little-known fact. Ed Hockley's son was the referee in a college game on Saturday, and now for the life of me, it was the Notre Dame game, I believe. It was I think it was the Notre Dame game. I think his name is Sean Hockley. I believe he was the referee in that game. It is Ed Hockley's son.
That must be his son.
It is. It is. I looked it up because I heard the name and wasn't exactly sure if I was hearing it the way that they were saying it, you know, if I had the spelling correct. So I started messing around on the Wikipedia and found it. And so it's, I guess, refereeing football is the family business. So good for him. I know Tom Stabile's son is is an official in the Big East. He is like a linesman, a line judge in the Big East.
Crew should be doing the game tonight because I looked in USA Today. I did not see Scott Green's crew.
Well, with buys and everything, Limo, not every crew works every week. So we didn't have a home game last week, so I didn't see Tom Bascom where he was going to be. So it's very possible. Since they have enough crews to fill out.
And your friend Bino Cook died.
Yeah,
we were just talking about it
beforehand here when we came on the air. It's like Bino was an institution for sure, and one of those guys.
The guy had classic lines. He was just
he was hilarious.
Great individual.
My favorite one was when the hostages were released from Iran, and Bowie Kuhn, who was then commissioner of baseball, said that he would give them all lifetime passes to Major League Baseball games, and Bino said, "Haven't they suffered enough?" So that was a classic line.
His real name was Carol Bino Cook.
Right, Carol Cook, and supposedly he got the name Bino. His family lived in Boston for a while, and when they moved to Pittsburgh, I think he was 7 or 8 years old, and one of the kids in the neighborhood nicknamed him Bino because he came from Beantown.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay, and Jim Tracy resigned with the Rockies. How about that?
What was that again? No, Limo, I didn't catch that.
Jim Tracy resigned from the Rockies.
It was interesting, too. And when it first happened, Limo was saying about Jim Tracy, who managed the Pirates for a while and was manager of the Dodgers, resigned from the job of manager of the Rockies. And when I first heard it, I thought, okay, they fired him.
Yeah.
According to everything I read, that isn't what happened at all. That they started a new structure with how they were going to do things in the front office, and he basically said he couldn't work I am not the man for this job, is what he said. Yeah. And he said that
that's the way to do it.
So and a lot of the players are very upset because they really liked him. He came into Colorado under Clint Hurdle, at Clint Hurdle's last few months there. And he, wasn't sure he wanted to take that job because you kind of figure when they bring in a bench coach like that at that time, that when the buzzards are circling around the current manager, that you're almost coming in to take over. And that he actually called Hurdle and discussed it with him beforehand, and I guess they have a decent relationship, so that's good to see. So I never had a huge problem with him, Limo. I thought he did a pretty decent job here under the circumstances. He didn't have anything to work with, and I wish him the best.
Did you hear about Ken Venturi?
No.
He was selected to the World Golf Hall of Fame.
The World Golf Hall of Fame.
The World Golf Hall of Fame. That's
He's 81 years old, catching up to Bob and Limo Man.
All right, Bruce, are you ready for your trivia?
Yeah, I'm eligible this week.
Okay.
What would you like? Multiple. Multiple it is, Limo. Here we go. For question number 1 for the Limo Man at home this evening. Who was the first left-handed pitcher to record 300 career saves? 300 career saves for a lefty. John Franco, Ron Guidry, Lefty Gomez, or Dutch Leonard?
I'd say the guy with the Mets, John Franco.
That is correct, Limo. Congratulations, we have a winner.
How about that?
John Franco from the Mets. I said we could also say that he was the person responsible for making sure Pete Rose got his last second bets in. Because
and Pete Rose guys announced for the Mets. How about that?
Yeah, I said
Cohen and Howie Rose on the Fame in New York, AM 660.
We love Howie Rose.
All right.
Yeah,
give us your sign-off.
There's a lot in deep right center field, and this ball is for Gino Paluso and his gorgeous secretary, Stacy.
Thank you, Limo.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
Our number 724-236-0430, and we'd love to hear from you.
I think we need to. We've avoided it. The Alameda Teamu arrest over the weekend on the south side with 15 counts, including resisting arrest, running from the police, having to be punched in the face twice by the police.
But he apologized.
Yes, he did, Bob.
Wasn't
that big of a... Speaking of big of them, and I'm not going to make light of this, but how much does a man that weighs 345 pounds have to drink to have a blood alcohol level of nearly 0.2?
Twice the...
Of nearly 0.2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of alcohol. And if anyone's ever been on the South Side at 2:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night, it is packed with people. The fact that he didn't kill anybody is a minor miracle. And really, I was thinking about it. I think he's actually should consider himself very lucky, because the first thing that came into my mind was Gabe Rivera.
Yes, indeed. And Gabe, gosh, that's been, what, 15? It
was in the 80s. It was like 30 years.
30? Was it that far back?
It was probably 83. Gabe Rivera was a first-round defensive tackle for the Steelers. And
how long was he in camp before that happened?
I'll tell you what, this was probably maybe in October of that year. It was halfway through his rookie year, I believe. He got into an accident, was drinking, got into an accident, and was paralyzed. They actually had to try, and remains to this day. He was at a game recently, a couple of years ago, and he was out to the 50-yard line and was the official captain and
tossed the coin,
toss and everything. And supposedly, I guess he's doing all right. He's coaching young kids and doing things like that. But a career completely ruined just by a bad decision. And you know, you think about guys like this, and you know, you wonder what makes somebody do this. I was reading some stuff over the weekend about him, that he's very impressionable, and that in training camp this year, as a gag, as like a hazing thing for a rookie, they said, we need you to walk to Walmart and buy a bag of Doritos or something. That simple. Well, Walmart was 4 miles away from St. Vincent, but he did it. He did it, and he came back, and he hurt himself. He had blisters on his feet, and you just wonder. And so it comes to the question: okay, now what do you do with him?
Where do you draw the line?
What do you do? Yeah. What do you do? I mean, really, what do you think? I mean, maybe I'm getting soft, but you know, I heard a lot of people say they should just cut him right away, and it's like I don't know, for a 22-year-old kid like that, I don't know that I can do that. He did terrible things. The judicial system's going to take care of him. He's not an integral part of the team. He hasn't dressed for any games yet.
Right.
He's actually been very disappointing, according to the team. He hasn't done much. But I think you need to see to it that he gets whatever kind of help he needs.
And I still remember the year, and it's been a while, the Detroit Red Wings take the Stanley Cup, and in a wild, drunken spree afterwards, there were 5 of them that were in a car.
It was in a limo. It was Vladimir Konstantinov. It was in a limousine, which is even more that they weren't even driving.
Right, but they were also banged up.
Right.
It was,
thing is, and I've heard a policeman tell me this, that these are a lot of times the worst cases of injuries, auto injuries, or during drunk driving incidents like this, because they're so impaired that you literally don't feel the pain. And you know, they try, you know, you need to just stay there and wait for someone to come help, and they don't do it. But you know, it's a sad thing. It's a terrible thing. I mean, he needs to be dealt with. And just the thought, he hit a lady who was in a parked car.
True, and he banged up 7 or 8 other vehicles.
He banged up other vehicles. He was going the wrong way on a one-way street. And those back streets on the south side, I know you've been down there, Bob. They're so tiny. There are cars parked on both sides because people live down there.
But not at that hour of the
morning. No, in the daytime when we can see, exactly. But at that hour, at that time, I'm telling you, that even at midnight, even at any time after dark on a Saturday night, and especially coming up here soon around Halloween, it goes really crazy down there. It is just so dangerous. And you know, you turn them loose because they had a bye week.
Yeah.
And you know, not really, but I mean, they played on Thursday and they had the weekend off, and so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't know that they're going to cut him. I don't think they should. They put him on some sort of inactive list the rest of the year. I think they need to try to help him and see if he's got an issue. They did that with Ernie Holmes, you remember?
Yes.
Shooting at police helicopters.
In Cleveland, of all places.
On the Ohio Turnpike.
Ohio Turnpike.
Was it like 1973, something like that, yeah.
All right, 724-236-0430. We still have our mystery profile out there. And I'm not going to tease with a clue yet. And I really don't want to. I'd rather have, you know, a person on the line here. But we did have a winner last week who walked away. The maximum you can win... the maximum you can win on the mystery profile is $100 if you get the answer on the first clue that we give. And a week ago, Terry from New Kensington got down to clue number 4, so he walked away with $25. Not bad, so we have that we can do tonight. And whatever I got from BJ in the phone, okay. Didn't hear that, but here we go to talk a little bit here about Mattio's Pizza, located in Tarentum, right next door to Clark Candy's. Everything on the Mattio's menu is made with quality ingredients. There are times I do talk with Matt and his dad and the staff down there. You know, they do take pride in what they do. They've got the great quality ingredients. Perhaps that's why people do proudly pass the word about their great food. In the area, or if you want to make a phone call to them, phone number's right there on the screen. Give them a call and they will deliver. They do have a policy on delivery, so you might want to check that out. Okay? We will take a break. When we come back, we'll have more. And again, our number, 724-236-0430. Mike and I will return right after this. We're writing a new chapter with our local sports talk show, Sportsline. Every Monday evening at 6 o'clock, we will be seen worldwide on internet streaming. Go to doubledribblebob.com and get it started. The program will be taped and will air on Comcast Cable Channel 190 Thursday evening at 8:30. We'll even have a live studio audience on a first-come, first-served basis. Go to Double Dribble Bob for directions to the studio. Studio audience is reminded the doors will open at 5:30. And you can still participate as you would if you were calling from home and still win a trivia prize. Now, we're depending on you to keep the program going. And even if you don't have a computer or the internet, you can still call and be a participant on the program. So keep the phone number handy, 724-236-0430. That's 724-236-0430. I'll be looking for you. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services. Putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubledribblebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough.
Welcome to Myrna's, home of the largest beer selection in the area.
Myrna's specializes in domestic, foreign, and microbrews as well as wine coolers. Myrna's Brewery Outlet has the largest beer selection at the lowest prices. Myrna's carries a large selection of snacks as well as cigars and cigarettes at state minimum prices. Let our helpful, courteous employees load your car. Myrna's Brewery Outlet, open 7 days a week.
And your pumpkin beers and your Oktoberfest beers are available right now at Myrna's, located in New Kensington. And my book is on sale there as well. Okay, we're going to get to a phone call momentarily, but a reminder, my Saturday radio program, WAVL, 9:10 on the AM dial, Saturday morning at 10, sports history and nostalgia. And Michael, we wanted to talk about some of the injuries before we take.
Before we get to the call, for anyone that was watching the Baltimore-Dallas game yesterday. By the way, we finally had 2 decent games to flip to back and forth. The Cleveland-Cincinnati game was very good, and anybody with Red Zone, you know, you have my undying gratitude because that's the best. But the Baltimore-Dallas game yesterday, you may have seen Ladarius Webb, the outstanding corner from the Ravens, was injured and left the game early. That was a torn ACL. He is out for the year. And the interesting one, if you notice late in the game, Ray Lewis was on the sidelines and he wasn't on the field. Turns out it's a torn triceps muscle. Ray Lewis is also out for the year. I think similar to Mariano Rivera's injury with the Yankees, they said this might be his last year. Ray Lewis isn't going to go out on an injury. I'm sure he'll try to come back and do that again next year.
That's what he's made of.
Exactly. So the Ravens lost both of those guys. I don't know that I see the Steelers actually challenging for the division title, but this makes it very interesting. They're going to, the Ravens have kind of gone through, and they don't have Terrell Suggs right now. You're taking three, maybe of their top 4 guys, and Haloti Ngata was also injured with a knee injury during that game. He did come back, but they said he was going for an MRI today. I haven't seen anything about that further, but the Ravens defense banged up a little bit right now, and we'll see how they're able to move on. And last thing on pro football, we talked about this before the show. 5 starting quarterbacks in the league are rookies. 4 of them won yesterday.
Isn't that amazing?
And the only one that didn't was Andrew Luck. Was the number 1 pick.
And he is the number 1 pick.
It was the number 1 pick. All others, Brandon Whedon, RG3, Russell Wilson, and Ryan Tannehill, all 4 of them won yesterday.
All right. We're going to get to the...
I was going to say, gone are the days where the guy sits for 3 or 4 years, right? No.
Welcome, Chris, to the program. Thank you for tuning in and calling Sportsline Trivia. Welcome.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Mike. How you guys?
Hey, Chris.
All
how
right,
are you?
Chris.
Okay, here's my whole thought of the whole thing. That Steelers that got in trouble. I don't think the Steelers should have the say so to take. I don't think they should accept the apology for one reason. I mean, these people have enough money. They have enough brains to do. They have enough money and enough brains. Why should they get away with it that easily? Maintain their job. I mean,
you still accept, Chris. You still accept their apology. That doesn't mean that you, just tell the guy, look, regardless, I know you're sorry about what you did, but here are the hard, cold facts. You have X, Y, Z.
Think about how you deal how you would deal as a parent. Exactly, and that's kind of the way I look at it. And Chris, I don't disagree with you. Brett Kiesel had an interesting quote, and that was they said, he only had one thing to say: call a cab.
Right.
These guys, these guys, the NFL actually has a number for you to call. This stuff will be taken care of for you. Chris, you're 100% right. And I'm not sticking up for the guy in any way, shape, or form. I am not trying to defend him. I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. None of that. The legal system needs to take care of him. And I hope that these charges don't just go away because he's a Steeler. I'll be the first one to stand up and say that that's wrong. We can't have that. But I also think, just as a human being, as a 22-year-old that's 3,500 miles away from home, that maybe the Steelers do have some kind of responsibility to make sure that the situation is taken care of and that he knows that he's not alone in it. And I think that just cutting him loose might not be the right thing right now. I mean, maybe you let it run its course and then you cut him. I don't even have a problem with that. Or you make some sort of an allowance to make sure just that he is given proper representation. And the help, which I think there obviously might be a problem here, the help that maybe he needs to get.
I think there is a problem. I think he needs help. I mean, because anybody that makes that amount of money should have better respect than what they have, I think.
Well, they're all making money, Chris. I mean, even the small guy in the totem pole.
Say he's probably one of the lesser paid guys on the team, but still, as a 4th-round draft pick, he's probably set up with more than we'll ever have. So he's
that's what I'm getting at.
Exactly, and like you say, Chris, common sense has to come in somewhere. Now, I understand, and I don't know if you've heard this or not, Bob. I don't know if you have. Has it been said that there was someone else with him at the time?
I didn't hear.
I thought they said he may have been. I heard a passenger, but they said a passenger in another car. So I don't know that. Was he alone? Did he just go down there by himself? Was he with somebody else? How does that all work? I think that's another thing the Steelers need to do is make sure, was there anybody else involved? I mean, Dave Longstead basically lost his job at Pitt because of stuff like this going on down there. So,
Well, 9 chances out of 10, if somebody's with him, they should have known better to take the responsibility to take over the driving or what have you.
Like I said, Chris, think about this. This guy weighs 345, 350 pounds. To have a .194, I believe it was, on the breathalyzer. That's a drunk human right there. I mean, there's just no other way around it. I don't care how big he is. How much alcohol did he have to consume for that to happen? I mean,
quite a bit, I would say.
A lot.
Quite a bit.
A lot, and probably not.
Yeah, my whole point is, if he had somebody with him, they should have taken over their driving. That's what I'm saying.
That's my point. My point was someone with him that was a teammate. Was that teammate older and more mature and had been around the block
and
a
should
little
have
bit?
known better.
That maybe should have known better. Now, he's got to know better, too. He's not a kid. He's 22. I'm calling him a kid, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We're both in our 40s. I know what you mean.
Exactly. So, I'm not trying to to, minimize what he did here, but he, if there's an issue here, and I did some reading on the Ernie Holmes situation today, that Dan Rooney and Chuck Noll actually went to the jail to get him, went to the prison to get him out of there, and got him psychiatric help. And by the time Ernie Holmes, right before he passed away, he was a reverend and he was working with kids. I mean, good came from the Steelers making sure that Ernie Holmes was taken care of and given the help he needed. Now, also to be said, Ernie Holmes was a staple of that defense, and they didn't want to lose, and they knew they had a player there. Would you toss this guy aside just because he may be not a big part of your future on your defense?
On the other hand,
not necessarily being a small part. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, pardon me, the fact that the guy is in the Baseball Hall of Fame, when you think about the irreversible drinking personality that Mickey Mantle had, here's a guy that they tried and they tried and they tried. And they could not break the guy of his habit. And yet he went out and performed. Now, maybe he knew there was a certain time of the day when he would cut it off.
Right.
But when he was in trouble.
That's a lifestyle issue for a lot of those guys, especially back in those days, because there were so many more day games that what was there to do at night when you were on the road? You went out.
And I did a story on my website about the concerns. They were talking about not only Major League Baseball, but primarily baseball, because most of the games are at night. Football, most are Sundays, etc. But the players who are getting the alcohol in the clubhouse is they'll bring it after the game. They've got a ton of food. They have sandwiches. They've got a few beers, and they're half smashed before they get to the parking lot.
Before they even get to where they're going. And there was one the other night after a Monday night game. I believe it was Michael Turner from the Falcons, and this is just this season, that he was arrested not 2 hours after the game ended for a DUI. I came up with some numbers, and this is thanks to Pro Football Talks, very good website, and they have a police blotter section. Since the first of the year, this year, 2012, NFL players, there have been 33 arrests. And these are just what arrests. And the great majority of them are DUIs. And it's 34 if you count the cheerleader from the Bengals who was arrested. And that's true, there has been. But Detroit with 4 is the leader. Detroit with 4.
Can I say multiple choice, please?
Minnesota with 3 in Jacksonville.
He's running out of dimes.
Gotcha. Let's go.
All right,
multiple
Chris.
choice number 2, Bob. You're up.
Am I up?
Yes.
Okay, Chris. You ready? Who holds the record of making the most field goals in a season the most times in his career? And your options are Fred Cox, Lou Groza, Mark Mosley, and Glenn Presnell.
I'm going to say Mark Mosley.
Not quite. Lou Groza, and he goes back much further than Mark Mosley. But Chris, thanks for tuning in this evening, okay? Appreciate it.
Thank you. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. All right. We have a break, and we do have another caller when we come back. Stay aboard, folks. Sportsline Trivia will continue in a moment.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Why do Arnold Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975. Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road in Natrona Heights. I heard from some folks down in Charlottesville or that area, Virginia, that are watching tonight. Thanks for tuning in.
It's lovely down there. That's where the University of Virginia is, right?
Exactly. Pretty doggone close.
Very nice. That's a beautiful campus.
Anyway, folks, a reminder again, go to my website to get the answers to our trivia, doubledribblebob.com. Let's go to the phones, and Brian from Harmer is up. Brian, good evening. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, Bob, and hi, Mike. How are you?
Okay, good.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about what I've been hearing on the radio about. They're talking about the 80th anniversary of the Steelers.
Uh-huh.
And I think, Mike, you're around my age. I'm 46, and I grew up in the 70s watching the Steelers and Bradshaw.
And Jurella.
Well, yeah. And they're comparing, okay, they're doing their pick the all-time team on the Fan.
I've been listening, yes.
Have you been listening to that?
I've heard a lot of the discussion.
I listen to Stan every day, too, Stan Tavern. And I was totally stunned by some of these old-timers like Stan and even Ed Bouchette. We're picking Big Ben over Bradshaw. I mean, I can't believe that. I mean, I grew up and I watched Bradshaw. He was unbelievable. He threw the prettiest ball. You know, just unbelievable spirals.
It's funny. I was with somebody the other day watching some old video that was just happened to be on the NFL Network. Pretty much too young to remember. That really didn't see it when it happened. And the words that came out of his mouth were, "Man, did he throw a pretty ball." That's exactly what he said. It's funny that you said that because he did. But you know, it's interesting. I don't think you can make the comparison fully until Ben's career is over. This is a different day and age. Everybody throws the ball.
And that's why it's difficult to compare eras.
And as I just said earlier here, a few minutes ago on the show, that 5 rookie quarterbacks are starting. When would you ever see that before, A? And B, 4 of them win on the same day, and none of them are the number 1 pick. I mean, that just, in the 70s, that would never happen.
I came in with the Steelers. I even, can't really remember the Immaculate Reception. But the first real memories of the Steelers are, the first Super Bowl against Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really see Bradshaw when he was having his problems, being replaced by Jefferson Street Joe, and all of that.
Right.
I saw him when he was getting good, and then he got great toward the, in the late 70s. But I just remember watching the Steelers back then and knowing they were going to win the game. Now, they had better players. They had Hall of Fame players around Bradshaw.
Steel curtain
I just
defense.
knew they were going to win the game. Today, watching the Steelers today, I'm not sure if they're going to win the game. Even when Ben has the ball at the end of the game. I just don't have the strong feeling that I had when Bradshaw was there. And here's the one thing that when I compare the two, and like I said, you can't compare errors because I think Bradshaw only had 7 or 8 300-yard games in his career. And his whole time, because they never passed the ball as much.
His first one was Super Bowl 13.
Yeah,
Think about that.
318 yards.
He did not have a 300-yard game until Super Bowl 13, which was the 1978 season, which was about 10 years into his career before he had a 300-yard game.
His ninth
and back in those days, there was another thing. Somebody yesterday, I believe their numbers, it might have been Matt Ryan, because I was keeping close tabs on him for reasons. 22 for 44. Oh boy, back when I was a kid, that was a good day. 50% was good. Now 50% is not good. 60% is the number, and it really needs to be 65% because of the way the game has changed. And that's why I don't think you could compare the eras.
And another thing, Mike, if you don't mind the interruption, is a lot of these quarterbacks that have higher percentages are throwing the short dinky pass. You know what I mean?
So much of it is reading what the defense is, and the quarterbacks take care of all that at the line of scrimmage, and then after the defense is read, so much of it is checkdowns and dinks and dunks and the short underneath stuff because everybody's back playing zones. And Terry just, and the other thing is, that needs to be brought up here that a lot of our younger viewers, I'm sure, don't know, is that back in those days, the quarterback went into the huddle and he called the play. There was no speakers in the helmets. There was no signals from the sidelines. I think only Dallas did.
And no straps.
I think Dallas called their plays that Tom Landry would send in. They had guards rotate.
Right.
They had rotating guards. Or even with Morton and Staubach, they had rotating quarterbacks. Those guys called their own plays. Bradshaw called it, went into the huddle and said,
His entire game.
He'd go into the huddle and Stallworth says, I'm open. He'd be, okay, well then let's run this, and then he'd throw it to stuff. Which is just another thing in his favor. His stats won't look as good. His completion percentage won't look as good.
They showed the when Ben passed up Bradshaw, they showed the stats, and they showed how many yards they have, 28,000 around each has around 28,000 yards. Then they showed the touchdown passes. Bradshaw had 212. And Ben has 174 or something like that.
Yeah, but Ben's also broken this record probably half of the time. So, there is that. But like we said,
here's the one thing that for me really separates it. Ben has thrown so many killer pick sixes in the playoffs. I mean, he did it in the Super Bowl against Green Bay. That was a killer. But he did it against New England, did it against the Jets. And even this past Thursday, right before the first half ended, after that nice dump pass to Redmond, they get like 30 yards. They're down inside the 30. There's the interception that he throws. Yeah. They lose 3 points. What's Tennessee do? They go down the field and just get a field goal. That's 6 points right there. That was a killer.
But in fairness, I think he's only thrown 3 interceptions all season.
Yeah. So. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Ben's a great quarterback. But if you telling me right now, who would I take? Because it's the Steelers' all-time greatest quarterback. It's Terry Bradshaw.
I'm with you. Right. I'm not making that leap to Ben yet either.
All right, Brian, we want to try to get you a trivia prize if you're willing to take a shot at something.
Yeah, do you have that mystery profile? I've never done it before.
Oh, wonderful.
Profile.
Okay, we got to run fast to squeeze this one in.
Let's go through it then.
Okay, very quickly. This is brought to you, of course, by Mattio's Pizza. Clue number 1. Take a look at clue number 1. It says, I am. Are you watching on your computer?
Yeah, but it keeps on freezing up on me, so.
Okay, all right, here we go. I am one of only 2 major leaguers who have won the All-Star Break Home Run Derby more than once.
Ken Griffey Jr.
No. Okay, $75 in prizes if you get it here. At age 23, I was the youngest national leaguer to hit 50 home runs in a season.
Carlos Beltran?
Nope. Okay, $50 if you get it here. My dad and I are the only father-son combination in Major League Baseball to each hit 50 home runs in a season.
It's a national leaguer.
No, not necessarily. My dad and I are the only father-son combo to each hit 50 home runs in a season. No other father and son combo can say that. Take a shot.
I don't know why I'm just drawing a blank.
I got to go to the next one.
Go to the next one. Yeah.
Okay. I have a tattoo on my neck.
Oh, yeah, Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder?
Yeah, Prince Fielder.
All right,
you got trivia. I just drew a blank. I haven't done this in so long. I guess I froze up.
You're out of practice.
You got
right.
25. You got $25 coming in the way of a trivia prize. We'll get it out. Stay on the phone. Let's make sure, since you haven't called in a while, that we have your current address.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Okay, Brian, thank you so much for the call. Folks, thank you for watching tonight. Mike and I will be back next Monday at 6, right here on DoubleDribbleBob.com. Each show is videotaped and played back on a Thursday night at
8:30 on channel 190, where you can also on channel 190. Yes, on 190, where you can also find the football games, the Highlands games every Tuesday night at 6:30, and then Bob with a game following at 8:30 p.m. channel 190. 190 is where you go now. That's where you got to be.
Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Tattern.
I'm Mike Pavlik.
We'll see you next Monday and Thursday. Bye-bye. Sportsline, brought to you by AKLC Studios, Arnold Furniture.
Buffalo Bills Roadhouse, Fazio's Italian Deli, Highland Tire, Myrna's Brewery Outlet, Lower Borough Attorney Gino F. Peluso, the Resevich Funeral Homes, 380 Discount Warehouse, and Westmoreland Insurance Services